Part 92. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 942. There was a faint vitality in the eyes of the Salted Fish King. What this vitality brings is not the dark evil aura from the original return to super evolution. On the contrary, it is a golden light that is like the right path. In the beginning, human beings are inherently good. In the beginning, the elves were also good. This is not the return of primitive evil to super evolution. Even if there is the most primitive evil, the good left behind by such a vitality will definitely not lose the most important reason. Evil can allow the Salted Fish King to activate the primitive regression super evolution based on the original gym level and near king level basic strength, bursting out the king level elf combat power, and possessing the most primitive evil power. Goodness can bring a steady stream of vitality to the Salted Fish King, and it is this vitality that enhances not the power that temporarily surpasses the heavenly king level combat power when the Salted Fish King explodes, but eternal improvement of the foundation of strength. This breath, could it be? Yang Yu immediately noticed the changes in the situation of the Salted Fish King, especially in the golden light. The sparkling scales that appeared on the body were like the turbulence of the waves at this moment. The gym level strength has been stuck with the Salted Fish King for too long. The eyes of Reggie Locke's wisdom core flashed crazily. It had never seen such an exaggerated picture of the elf strength about to be promoted. Yeah. Dede closed his hands and placed them in front of his chest, looking expectantly at Xian above the temple, his mouth slightly opened, and even rubbed his chubby hands in great anticipation. Yi. De Mei's body jumped up and down a few times. The Salted Fish King Deda's strength was about to be promoted. This level of life energy has surpassed the gym level strength. In any case, it is a brand new recognition of power for De Mei. No. De Mei may not feel the superpower that she radiates deeply when she is promoted to the heavenly king level, but under the bridge connected by the blood-colored scales of the Salted Fish King, De Mei can feel it slightly clearly at this time. This life force in the Salted Fish King is terrifying. Mana Fei doesn't seem to have any intention of interrupting this bridge. Reggie Locke said seriously. By focusing his attention, Reggie Locke could see very clearly with his eyes. It even seems that it looks salty. There's something wrong with the Fish King's eyes. Why is there a hint of gratitude? Manaphi has seen the Salted Fish King before. Darkrai was also a little confused. Logically speaking, as the master of the Temple of the Sea and the Prince of the Sea, Manaphi shouldn't show the expression of gratitude described by Reggie Locke when facing a Gyarados. Isn't this the first time Manaphi and Salted Fish King have met? No. Definitely not. Yang Yu shook his head firmly. If he were not far away from the Salted Fish King and Manaphi, he would now want to find out what happened and why the energy light group in the central tower pillar was conceived with the electric power of the Salted Fish King. Resonate with the strong life force? And Manaphi's current attitude towards the Salted Fish King. Ona. Oh, Una. Each Fiona began to jump up and down excitedly towards the direction of the Salted Fish King. From the perspective of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, these little elves were like little blisters, trembling and shaking, as if they could squeeze out of the water. Yang Yu was curious. These Fionas showed extraordinary excitement when they saw the Salty Fish King blooming with electric power in the sky of their sea temple. Ona. A Fiona excitedly told Yang Yu that this vital force can cultivate many plants in the Temple of the Sea, so that they can have enough to eat. Life force, enough food. What's the connection here? Yang Yu was about to ask, when suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind, and he seemed to have thought of some details. Brother, the Salted Fish King is so big, is his strength going to be improved? Jim. Come, go from the gym level to the king, Yang Xiao couldn't help but exclaimed. At first, Yang Xiao didn't think about it in this direction, but as time went by, as the salted fish king showed his powerful electric power and majestic life force in the sky, Yang Xiao vaguely guessed something, and then heard what Reggie Locke just said made Yang Xiao extremely excited. This is the King of Heaven, the level of the King of Heaven. King of Heaven, to Yang Xiao, that is equivalent to a legend. Yang Xiao will witness the birth of the king-level elf Xianyu King. That's right, King Salted Fish is ready to cross this hurdle. Yang Yu took a deep breath, and his clenched fists began to tremble crazily. This is the opportunity that belongs to the Salted Fish King. The promotion of Dade's strength comes from his understanding of nature and from some guidance about superpowers from Lao Huidi and Senior Tutegui. Dada took the lead and promoted Xianyu King to the Heavenly King level. Of course, Xianyu King was even more thinking about how to promote himself to the Heavenly King level. However, it is not that easy to be promoted to the King of Heaven. At the gym level, especially after mastering the original return super evolution and mastering the power of evil, the Salted Fish King wants to break through to the Heavenly King. Ordinary elf battles are basically unable to satisfy the Salted Fish King. Being stuck at the gym level, what the Salted Fish King lacks is an opportunity. Yang Yuban thought about using himself to establish a personal gym in North America to attract the attention of gym leaders in North America. At the same time, it would be best to beat several gym leaders at a time to let the Salted Fish King completely release his whole body. The power of. It's like looking for a vent to accumulate strength. This method has been used on Xiao Baobao before, but the unexpected appearance of the mysterious secret realm under the sea in the Elven world caused the gym leaders in North America to completely focus their attention on the secret realm, causing Yang Yu to miss this opportunity to compete with these gym leaders one after another. However, what Yang Yu didn't expect at all was the opportunity for King Salted Fish to advance to the level of Heavenly King lies precisely in this secret realm, at the bottom of the deep sea, in the Temple of the Sea, the secret realm of Atlantis. Ka. Cluck K. In the Sea Temple, every Carp King, even if they have nothing to do with the Carp King army, are just ordinary Carp King. At this moment, they are still willing to dedicate some of their insignificant strength to the Sea Temple. The water splashed in the middle, and at the same time, he followed the other Magi Carp with his voice. Make peace with each other. In the sky of the Temple of the Sea, the figure of the Salted Fish King was gradually submerged in the golden light, bathed in thunder, exuding the power of life beyond the gym level. The moment the Salted Fish King opened his eyes while realizing the changes in the level of life force, the golden light on his body was like flashing arrows, shining and exploding in all directions. Roar. A dull sound, like a suppressed voice, seemed to have broken free at this moment, echoing over the Sea Temple. Zhyla. A bolt of lightning quickly fell from the sky of the Temple of the Sea and charged towards the energy core of the tower pillar. In this lightning, the increasingly blue figure gradually emerged, as if surrounded by a layer of dense white mist. In an instant, all the fog dissipated. The figure of the Salted Fish King appeared majestically in the sky. Roar. Salted Fish King, King of Heaven. Pokémon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 943. If we say that the Salted Fish King's original return to super evolution is the dark evil power lingering all over his body, darkness descends. So at this moment, promoted from the gym level to the king. But it's like being wrapped in holy light, shining brightly in the sky above the Temple of the Sea. The entire Sea Temple seemed to be bathed in the golden vitality that spread out like fireworks in the sky. This was a rain of vitality, a timely rain. It was the gift of water from the Salted Fish King. Water is the source of life. In the most powerful state of the Salted Fish King, the primitive return to super evolution, it is no longer just the evil power that supports that powerful power. The Salted Fish King's water power suddenly and sharply improved in the Sea Temple, making the Salted Fish King really stepped into King of Heaven. Yeah. Dada raised his hands high, facing the magnificent rain of life in the sky, embracing the baptism of the rain of life just like embracing the blue sky. Lao Huidi's permanent super-evolution brought about the birth of a secret realm. The super waterfall of Meteor Lake infiltrated a forest and brought super vitality to the forest. Dai Dai's promotion to the Heavenly King brought him the Pearl of the Night, the natural breath in the Pearl Forest. Under Dai Dai's natural understanding, everything seemed to be integrated into nature. To be stupid is to be natural is to be stupid. Now, it is the Salted Fish King who has stepped into the level of the Heavenly King. The energy core of the Sea Temple's tower pillars has not fallen or been destroyed for thousands of years. It still has the hottest vitality for thousands of years. Although it may have declined, this energy core is enough to nourish the life of the entire Sea Temple. The life force in it is so powerful that it is simply unimaginable. The vitality and blessing left by the Salted Fish King on the seabed has completed an incredible integration while repairing the decline of the energy core. The vitality of the energy core can be fully supplied to the Salted Fish King at this time. The vitality fire of hope, the power of life, is endless. This gorgeous rain of vitality has appeared before in the history of the Sea Temple. Every time it appears, all the creatures in the Sea Temple will be baptized by the water. Pure water, rain containing the power of life and dense breath. Roar. The Salty Fish King, whose whole body suddenly became smooth and completely freed from the shackles of the gym level life level, was full of wanton momentum in the Temple of the Sea. With this golden rain, it was announced that the birth of the king level Gyarados. So handsome. Yang Xiao took a deep breath. The dazzling light in her eyes deeply attracted Yang Xiao and shocked her soul. Ji. Sana. Jengar and Gardwar held hands, feeling the vitality of the rain in this golden rain. This power is extremely familiar to Jengar and Gardwar. Once upon a time, when Lalulasi condensed the super skirt to evolve, Ghost Stone used the share the pain function, and at the same time, he wrote a life contract to use his own vitality to share the severe pain for Lalulasi. Because of living, I understand the beauty of life. Alu. Dede's heart was up and down, embracing this rain, a golden rain in the secret world under the sea. For Dede, who is also a king level and also has water attributes, of course Dede must accept this salty gift well. Likewise, we must also appreciate the natural forces within. It's like the totem of Gyarados. This is incredible. Reggie Locke's core of wisdom will remember the scene and the myth that this underwater world, the Temple of the Sea, was created by a giant Gyarados. Totem of the Elves, Darkrai and Cresselia could not help but feel their hearts jump. This evaluation of Reggie Locke's intellectual core is too high. The totem of Gyarados. This means that the giant Gyarados in front of us will be the most powerful Gyarados among all the Gyarados in the world, and the most terrifying overlord Gyarados. When a totem appears in a group of elves, perhaps this group of elves will have their beliefs. The Salted Fish King is the light of faith for them, the Carp Kings. Ona Ona Ona. Ona. Oh dash. The entire Sea Temple fell into a sea of joy at this moment. Each Fiona welcomed the baptism of rainwater. They rotated and leaped in the Temple of the Sea, and at the same time brought up the spiraling raindrops. On the ground of the Temple of the Sea, some Fiona immediately held some small pots. In the pots, there were also flowers and vegetation on the seabed, and they raised them high at the same time. Not only that, but in the area where a large number of seaweeds are planted in the Temple of the Sea, it seems that a long drought is greeted by rain. Even some seaweeds that have withered and turned yellow due to insufficient energy cores of the tower pillars are suddenly lit up with vibrant green. Fiona's happiness brings happiness to the surrounding sea elves living in the Sea Temple. Lobster soldiers, pearl oysters, cherry blossom fish, giant fin flying fish, etc., including the roaring whale king, at this moment, let their whole bodies welcome the baptism of the rain. Another area where the power of dreams is about to gather. Cresselia's eyes flashed with unspeakable excitement. For Cresselia, the god of dreams, the more the power of dreams is condensed in the real world of elves, the more she can borrow the power of dreams in the real world in her dreams. At the same time, Cressalia's mood it will be better. Because under such an environment, Darkrai cannot be Cressalia's opponent at all. Cressalia, what do you want to do? Darkrai suddenly felt cold all over his body, as if he had an unknown premonition. No, this place is quite suitable for a fight. How about I let you run 39 meters first? Cressalia blinked Kazillan's big eyes crazily. Darkrai. There is something wrong with this human trainer Yang Yu. Didn't he promise to be a walking nightmare and create endless nightmares for his opponents? Why is he so good at creating sweet dreams? Yang Yu. Blame me? Yi. The great beauty soared up into the sky, passed through the golden rain in the sea temple, and quickly went in the direction of the salted fish king. On its slender and enchanting body, there were pieces of azure scales on its tail, including this mysterious figure. The beautiful fantails became crystal clear and sparkled under the baptism of this burst of rain. Ka, ka, ka. Cluck, k. The carp kings gathered from the sea temple in an instant. Whether they were members of the Carp King army or the ordinary Carp Kings who existed in the Sea Temple, they all immediately surrounded the Salty Fish King and the Great Beauty. Water splashes, water splashes, water splashes. Cluck, k. When all the Carp Kings saluted in the direction of the Salted Fish King and the Great Beauty, at this moment, the ordinary Carp Kings were also deeply affected by this momentum, and they all raised their own flags in unison. Beard. Omega asterisk. There are countless figures in this circle of red and eye-catching Carp King, and the number of them is getting more and more. At this time, Yang Yu feels that in front of him, it seems that, it is not a blue one. The world has turned into a red world instead. Mana. At the side, Manaphy ran out from the core of the tower pillar to greet the Salted Fish King. At this moment, she saw such a large group of Carp Kings suddenly appearing in front of her. The number was getting more and more. The more it went on, the whole elf was confused at this moment. / left parenthesis o. Sea Temple. Are there that many Magi Carp? Why does it feel like there are more Magi Carp than Fiona? Manaphy, who felt as if she had been left out suddenly, was now filled with little question marks one after another. Is this my house or yours? How does it feel? Something is wrong. Manaphy looked at the dense group of red Carp Kings in front of her, and suddenly, wisdom is gone. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 944. This is very embarrassing. Manaphy wanted to go to the giant Gyarados and personally thank the Gyarados for its help to the Sea Temple, but a whole group of Magi Carp surrounded the horse, like a red wall of fish, even blocking Manaphy's sight. Is there any royal law for this? Is this justified? Isn't this bullying him because Manaphy's height is only about 0.3 meters? You may not believe it, but even Manaphy's descendant Fiona has a normal height higher than Manaphy. The average height can reach 0.4 meters, which is 1/3 higher than Manaphy. But what about Magi Carp? Manaphy took a deep breath. In this group of Carp Kings who were going crazy, he couldn't do anything to these elves. After all, as the Prince of the Sea and the Master of the Sea Temple, there was nothing wrong with the gathering of these Carp Kings. But the question is, how come there are so many spicy Magi Carp in the Sea Temple? Manaphy shook her head, feeling dizzy. Manaphy's head is really big. It's like her body is condensing more sea water. As her head grows, Manaphy not only becomes taller, but also can pass through the buoyancy of sea water, gradually rising from low to high with ease. Whether it is Fiona or Manafi, this is the most basic ability they have. Mana. At this moment, Manafi finally spoke to the giant Gyarados, the salty fish king, among the group of Magi carp kings. Next to the giant Gyarados, there was also a Minas, which was extremely rare in the ocean. The connection between souls instantly builds a bridge of communication. Roar. The salty fish king's huge eyes gradually noticed the somewhat unique Fiona in front of him. There was a thick and majestic aura of water lingering around the body of this Fiona. Even the salted fish king, who had just been promoted to the heavenly king level, would not underestimate this power. Yi. Are you the leader of these Fionas, mighty Fiona? Manafe. Manafe stretched out her hand, pointed to the two tentacles on her head, and then greeted a Fiona, pointing to one of the tentacles on Fiona's head and the single calf. He is the elf Manafe with two tentacles and two legs. Upon hearing Manafei's self-introduction, Salty Fish King and Damali glanced at each other. Both of them saw the curiosity in their eyes. Manafei felt that the atmosphere suddenly seemed a little uncomfortable. What the hell are you two looking at? On the way here, Yang Yu, Dede, Reggie Locke, and even the nightmare god Darkrai and the dream god Cresselia all talked about this secret elf named Manafei. The kind where thieves can lay elf eggs. The Salted Fish King and Damali were very curious. How did such a small elf Manafei give birth to Fiona that was bigger than themselves? Seems very amazing. Through telepathy, after Manafei knew the true meaning of the look of this giant Gyarados and Menus, she immediately raised her head and chest, and her small body bulged greatly. It was as if he regarded this incident as his own glory. For Manafei, it is her own responsibility to have more and more children of the Sea Temple, so as to ensure that the Sea Temple is always full of vitality. Existing in the deep sea, isolated from the outside world of elves, if there is no new vitality, there will be an atmosphere of decline in the Sea Temple. Perhaps this aura cannot be felt for a year or two, but as time goes by, once no new Fiona is born from the elf eggs, it will be extremely harmful to the Sea Temple. Through telepathy, Salted Fish King and Damali immediately stood in awe. The huge Sea Temple needs to be maintained by such a small elf in front of you. Does this prove Manafei's greatness in the secret realm of Atlantis in the Sea Temple? Roar. Xianyu Dynasty shook his head back and forth towards Manafei, pointing in the direction of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Mana. Manafei nodded. Of course he noticed these two humans from the outside elven world. At the same time, he also noticed. Oh, those small rocks that look the same around the two humans, the rock god pillar, Regirock. Manafei moved forward faster than the Salted Fish King and Damali. In his own temple, Manafei, who had the title of Prince of the Sea, controlled the miraculous water power. In the deep sea, it's like moving instantly. Yeah. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He vaguely captured the figure of Manafei shuttled in the sea water. For a special elf like Manafei, most of the body is made of sea water. After mastering the powerful water power, it can be said that no matter which piece of sea water is inside, it is possible to find Manafei. Manafei can also reach places where the sea water can reach in the blink of an eye. Melt in the sea water and blend in nature. Perhaps for Dede, this will be something that can only be accomplished after transcending the heavenly king level, but for a unique elf like Manafei, this is his unique talent. Mana. Manafei. Manafei and Regi Locke meet again at the core of their wisdom. Little Regi Locke is not much bigger than Manafei. These two little elves, Manafei absorbs Regi Locke's fist with her hand. Suddenly started spinning and jumping around Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Brother, Manafei seems to know Regi Locke, very familiar with him. Yang Xiao felt that his brain was a little insufficient. What happened one after another in front of her eyes did seem to be happening in a dream to her. One by one, magical things, one by one, magical and legendary elves. If it weren't for brother Yang Yu, Gardwar, Jengar, and the magic wall doll beside Yang Xiao would have thought that he was suffering from paranoia when he saw this increasingly unbelievable scene. This is incredible. Dede felt two more figures beside him. At the same time, the scales on Xiangxian's body were leaning on Dede's shoulders, as if telling Dede, "The salted fish king is back. Long wait. Grrrrrrrr." He held his fat hands in his arms. He didn't need to turn around. He only had to raise his head to see the salty beard and chin above him. Yi. The big beauty blinked her left eye in the direction of the dull look, tilted her head playfully and winked. "Welcome back." After Yang Yu gestured with his thumb in the direction of the salted fish king, he followed the salted fish king, Dada and Great Beauty, including Little Dream Demons Little Bao and Tajapai and other elves, all focused their attention on the body of this Manaphi. Two Gio, two little braids on the head. You can be sure that this is Manaphi. Reggie Locke, who lives in the world's center island all year round, may be able to feel the hidden fluctuations of the world under the sea whenever the world's center island sinks to the bottom of the sea. Manaphi once fought side by side with Regirock to protect the real world of elves. Even though it was a long time ago, it was an unforgettable friendship for the guardians of the elf world and Manaphi. Times change, and the world changes. If the energy core in the sea temple had not declined in vitality, Manaphi probably would not have caused the sea temple to have anything to do with the outside world of elves. An old friend I haven't seen for many years. The situation looks worse than before. After communicating with Reggie Locke's wisdom core for a while, Manaphi immediately focused on Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, the two human trainers. Telepathic bridges are ready to be built. When Manaphi sensed the unusually powerful wave guide power in Yang Yu. Mana. In an instant, Manaphi held a handful of seaweed in her heart. Hold the grass, this person actually has such a powerful wave guide power? Manaphi. Hearing the sound, Manaphi's head instantly became larger than Reggie Locke's entire body, and she held another handful of seaweed in her heart. Mana. Nightmare God, Darkrai. Hold the grass, why is Darkrai here, in this human shadow space? Manaphi. Another voice was conveyed to Manaphi's mind through telepathy. Manaphi was suddenly confused again. Holding the grass, holding 3 big handfuls of grass. God of dreams, Cresselia. It's not right. This is the sea temple in the real world of elves, and this is Manaphi's home. Why did Manaphi suddenly feel? Why does this place seem to have become a dream world, the dream home of Darkrai and Cresselia? Manaphi subconsciously paid attention to the direction of the human Yang Xiao where Cresselia was. Manaphi feels like she has a lot of question marks. A person with superpowers? What is going on today? 2 humans with certain magical abilities suddenly appeared in the elven world. In contrast, what scared Manaphi was this human being who had mastered the power of Wave Guide. Isn't this person not even afraid of Nightmare God Darkrai? Manaphi has never seen anyone dare to let the Nightmare God Darkrai personally follow him, never. Coupled with the power of this Wave Guide. Could it be that this incredible human being is a god? Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 945. Accepting Manaphi's invitation, Yang Yu, Yang Xiao, and their party, with the help of groups of Fiona, enjoyed the SVIP treatment of the overpass under the sea. Through the transparent bubble bridge built by Fiona, a track was instantly formed leading to the central tower of the sea temple. Yang Yu, who was wrapped in bubbles, seemed to have gained an unimaginable superpower the moment he touched the bubble bridge. In this predetermined orbit, facing the core energy light group like the sun, ejection starts. Bowling. Poppy. Watching Yang Yu swish in a daze, then swish into the bubble and run on the track like a roller coaster, which completely inspired the playful nature of the elves. Start, buckle speed. Choose a map, Atlantis. Although it is not difficult for Salty Fish King, Big Beauty, and Little Bayo Bayo to fly over the Temple of the Sea, such a way of playing that is rarely experienced in normal times will naturally not be missed. Brother! 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 Yang Xiao couldn't help but scream in the bubble. Although Jengar and Gardvoir were around her, the scene of traveling at high speed through the time and space channel under the sea still made her feel deeply stimulated. As if the bubbles obeyed Yang Xiao's inner thoughts, the Fionas, who have telepathic abilities, immediately slowed down the speed of the bubbles in orbit. When Yang Xiao suddenly realized that nothing happened to him, it was completely as if he had frightened himself. He patted his hot face and said, "Okay, okay, the speed just now was indeed a little faster, but..." With the highly technological transportation method and the winding orbit, Yang Xiao looked up and saw many other ocean elves in the bubble, especially the brilliant red light. A group of carp kings. Wow, it's really beautiful. Under the core energy of the sun, all ocean elves have more or less sparkling little dots. Only when these dots seem to exist at a glance can you understand the elves. A more magical scene in the world. Sana. Close to the inner wall of the bubble, Gardevoir's face also showed an expression of wonder, and his small mouth was always open, and the shock in his heart was beyond words. The magic wall doll looked at such a large underwater world. Suddenly, he seemed to vaguely see a dirty mark on the body of a roaring whale king. At this moment, the magic wall doll really wanted to pick up his broom and run away. Go and brush it on the roaring whale king. One hand wants to clean, and the other hand controls the hand that wants to clean. The left and right brains of his brain seemed to be fighting against each other, fighting for wits and courage with the air. The little dream demon, Tijipai and Jigglypuff were clinging to the inner wall of the bubble with their little hands. Tijipai did not forget to summon the Cream Fairy. The Cream Fairy and Tijipai, who were rubbing their eyes, were all stuck to the inner wall of the bubble, with little stars twinkling in their eyes. Praise the unparalleled charm of this underwater world. Manaphi led the way, and as Yang Yu and Yang Xiao moved forward on the track behind them slowly, like blowing small bubbles in the sun, with colorful lights following the bubbles. Disintegrated, scattering the final brilliance in the sky. Temple of the Sea, Central Tower. This high tower is somewhat like the core defense tower in some tower defense games. While protecting the home of the Sea Temple, it also provides the temple with the energy it needs every day. When Manaphi opened the door of the tower pillar, two pairs of eyes suddenly stared at this place. Salted Fish King, Xiao Bao Bao. This gate is too small. Manaphi felt the thoughts of the two Gyarados, one large and one small, and was speechless for a while. It's just that big on its own, so why bother building such a big door? This is Manaphi's Sea Temple, Manaphi's home. Isn't it normal for the door to be smaller? Salted Fish King, Xiao Bao Bao, are you going into the elf ball or are you going to hang out outside? Yang Yu felt as if he was back to the beginning. The super large Magi Carp got stuck in the bed during military training, and there was an interesting saying that Mycarp is not allowed to enter the dormitory even though he has not evolved yet. He already has a super large body shape. Now, he encountered such a situation again. Although little Bayo Bayo is smaller than the Salted Fish King, it cannot fit inside the gate of the tower where Manaphi is. Roar! The Salted Fish King glared at the door, and then had no choice but to enter the elf ball. The majestic king-level Gyarados really doesn't want to suffer this injustice, so why not tear this place apart? Manaphi, I know what you are thinking, but you dare to think such terrible things in front of me. Is this my house or yours? For the sake of the reign of vitality in the Sea Temple and the blessings left at the bottom of the deep sea, Manaphi did not care about the giant Gyarados. Speaking of which, Manaphi felt that she might, probably not be able to defeat this Gyarados. Although it was definitely stronger than this Gyarados, but only with the attribute of water, Manaphi felt that this Gyarados the water power is very weird. Although she couldn't say it for the time being, Mana Fei still felt it when Gyarados' strength improved. It's just like the power of it. Manaphy had a thought, and then thought of this even weirder human trainer. Is this horse a human? Whether it's the incredible power of wave guides, or the fact that he carries a nightmare god around, and even the rock god pillar Regirock follows him. Perhaps. Can I ask for help from a human trainer? Manaphy, did you encounter any problem? In the friendship between Regirock and Manaphy fighting side by side, Manaphy's views on Yang Yu and Yang Xiao naturally came to the friendly camp. As the patron saint of the elf world protecting the land, Regirock naturally would not make the wrong choice. People come and follow. Especially the core of wisdom. As for the core of the reckless man's power, although he is stubborn, he can still distinguish between right and wrong, good and evil. Coupled with the blessing of the giant Gyarados to the Temple of the Sea, Mana Fei's favorable impression of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao immediately increased, squeaking one by one. Wave Guide Hero, Superpower. Darkrai, the god of nightmares, and Cresselia, the god of dreams. This lineup really made Manaphy a bit dumbfounded. Under the premise of being friendly, Manaphy seemed to have encountered some confusing situations. For Yang Yu, he could naturally feel it through the power of the wave guide. Mana. Manaphy nodded. Then he waved in the direction of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. If it weren't for the existence of Regirock's wisdom core, Manaphy would not have led a group of humans to follow him to an important location inside the tower pillar. This is a bubble elevator. We're descending. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao looked at each other, both of them were a little surprised. No. Rise to the sky above the tower pillar? However, since Manaphy wanted to lead them down among the tower pillars, then they just had to follow. It has to be said that Yang Yu is as curious as Yang Xiao. At the bottom of the sea temple. What else could there be? The Temple of the Sea itself is located deep in the Pacific Ocean of the elf world. Looking at the rate of decline at this moment, it seems that there is a deeper mysterious zone deep in the seabed. Yes. The center of the earth? At the bottom of the Temple of the Sea, it is not the endless darkness that dazzles Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, but the layers of light that look like small nebulae, flashing like little stars at the same time. Blue, pink, and crystal bright white. What kind of place is this? Regirock couldn't help but murmured. In his twinkling eyes, he seemed to feel an extremely friendly atmosphere. The smell of rock. A very strong smell of rock. The bubble elevator stopped descending in the tower column. What appeared in front of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao was a cave that revealed all kinds of mysteries. There doesn't seem to be any moisture here. On the contrary, the environment is even very dry. Mana. The tentacles on Manaphy's head scratched her head. When the light appeared in this cave, for a moment, Yang Yu and Yang Xiao felt as if their eyes were blinded by various lights. For a moment, the little dream demon's eyes lit up. The little dream demon smelled many small coins. Because the picture that appeared in front of me was none other than various colored gems. These gems seemed to be inlaid on the walls of the mine. With just a little bit of light, they could be in this mine. Shine with dazzling light. Q. 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 Along with the little dream monster, Mimiki's eyes seemed to be shining brightly. Sure enough, what kind of master follows, what kind of elf will follow? Mimikyu also smells a lot of small coins. Hey, little dream demon. Suddenly, Yang Yu's eyes flashed, and he found that the little dream demon threw his whole body into the mine in an instant, as if he was hugging him with all his strength, hugging him. The little dream demon felt that in an instant, she had everything. Sparkling little gems, sparkling little diamonds, sparkling and all that, they are so cute. Omega. Oh my god, brother Yang Yu, there are so many diamonds here. Yang Xiao felt that his breathing was not smooth. So many shiny gems and even diamonds appeared in piles in front of Yang Xiao in the form of mines. This kind of shock is simply unbelievable. Yang Xiao felt like he was about to faint from the mine. Manaphi didn't pay much attention to the sudden action of the little dream demon running up to hug the big shiny blue gem. However, Manaphi blinked her eyes and at the same time touched her cheek in a weird way with her tentacles. The little dream monster's mouth was almost drooling, and just at this moment, something seemed to be moving. The little dream demon blinked his big eyes. Suddenly, the big blue gem embedded in the mine that the little dream demon was hugging opened a pair of small blue eyes among the crystal gems. At the same time, a wisp of white hair seemed to appear around the big gem. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The little dream demon blinked. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The pair of small blue eyes also blinked. Asterisk. The little dream demon rubbed his eyes. Did he see something wrong? However, when the little dream demon saw clearly. For a moment, the little dream demon's eyes and the pair of small blue eyes were stunned. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Oh! In this mine, a big gem that can run appears. Yang Xiao was suddenly confused. Brother, 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 that big gem, carried the little dream demon and ran away. Yang Xiao. How could the little dream demon let go of his hand? If he hugged her, he would never let go. He would never let go. This is small money, small money. Q. 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 Seeing that the big gem that suddenly came to life carried the little dream monster away, Mimikyu hurriedly chased it from behind. In situ. Reggie Locke was stunned here. What kind of elf is that? What, that's an elf? Yang Xiao heard Reggie Locke's words and couldn't believe what his eyes and ears heard. Is that an elf? Elder brother. Elder brother. Elder brother. Did you hear that? Reggie Rock said, that big gem that jumps and runs away, is an elf. The gems have come to life. Yang Xiao suddenly felt that it was not unusual for gems to come to life. Rocks could form elves, so why couldn't gems look like elves? Wait, by the way, what kind of elf is that? Yang Xiao was about to speak when he heard 3 words popping out of Brother Yang Yu's mouth, and he was stunned again. Little diamond. Yang Yu's eyes looked in the direction of the big gem that bounced away with the same disbelief. Here, why are there small diamonds? Yang Yu had never thought that at the bottom of Manaphi's sea temple, and even deeper in the deep sea, there were even deep sea mines with small diamonds. By the way, little dream demon and Mimikyu. Why don't you hurry up and catch up? Little broken diamond ran away with little dream demon on her back. How could this be allowed? Xiao Yu, let's follow quickly. Okay, brother Yang Yu. Not only Reggie Locke was confused, but also Darkrai, the nightmare god, and Cresselia, the dream god in the shadow space, were deeply shocked. Small diamond? This name. Why can Yang Yu call it by name? Even without any hindrance, he just blurted it out. This mysterious elf. Darkrai and Cresselia have never been seen in the history of the elf world, including this frost milk fairy next to Tijipai. Perhaps, it's that one's masterpiece again. Yang Yu followed closely in the direction where the little diamond escaped. If there was a small diamond in the mysterious mine on the bottom of the deep sea, would it be possible? Will she exist? Poppy! Tijipai suddenly shouted excitedly. When Yang Yu and Yang Xiao came to the corner of the mine, in the area of the mine that welcomed the bright area, there were 2 shocking sounds of hiss at the same time. Deep in the mine before you. One after another, the moving ore elves appeared. These elves have small blue eyes, small diamond-shaped ears, and a circle of white fluff in the middle. Among them, the little diamond carrying the little dream demon on its head was suddenly surrounded by other little diamonds. The little dream demon's eyes were instantly attracted by the pink light in a corner. Not only that, but Yang Yu and Yang Xiao also saw a bright pink light in the corner of their eyes among the bright colors mainly intertwined with gray, blue and white. On the throne made of diamonds, princess-cut diamonds shine in pink. Diancie. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 946. Chi, 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 Chi Chi Chi. Surrounded by small diamonds, the small diamond carrying the little dream monster in the center is spinning in the middle like a top. During the high-speed rotation, it wants to remove the little dream monster on its head. Get rid of it? However, the little dream demon, who had been holding on to Xiao Suizwen's ears, refused to let go. Not long after it rotated, the rotation speed of this small diamond slowed down, and everything in front of me felt dizzy. The little dream monster didn't feel well either. If it weren't for the fact that the little diamond had the density of a diamond mine, it would probably be able to spiral into the sky. After turning around at high speed, the little dream demon felt that her steps were a little shaky. Even so, the only thing that hasn't changed is so much money, so much money, so much little money. The little diamonds who noticed Yang Yu and Yang Xiao immediately formed a defensive boundary line for little diamonds. While detaining little dream demon and Mimikyu, they also had a relationship with Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Draw a cordon. Mana. Easy. Manaphi was suspended in the mine and waved to Diancie in the direction of the diamond throne. This throne was not created by Diancie's control of the rock power in the mine, but the place where she was born in the mine. It was such a bottle of diamond throne with beautiful pink surrounding it. The way Diancie walks is the same as that of Little Diamond. It is also a magical elf made of minerals. It walks by jumping up and down. If Little Diamond's jumping is a kind of cute, then Diancie's the way she walks adds a pink girlish heart to the cute style. The sparkling pink round diamond on the head is the magic of the elven world. The corners of this pink round diamond have an incredible symmetrical effect. Next to this round pink diamond, there is a princess crown composed of 4 octahedral diamonds. Embellished with 2 long diamonds that look like pendants, this crown has the purest aura of nobility. On Diancie's chest, the color of the princess diamond is very similar to that of Gardevoir's super skirt. This square diamond contains Diancie's incredible power of rock and fairy attributes. Gardevoir's super skirt heart, in addition to superpowers, also has the power of fairy attributes. More similar to Gardevoir, Diancie also has a white princess skirt. At the same time, the hands on the white cuffs have a soft feeling just from a single look. Q. 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 Although Mimikyu doesn't have much other feelings about being surrounded by a group of small diamonds, it still doesn't have a particularly clear concept of small money, but the little dream monster is different. Little dream monster. I dream of sleeping in a pile of money. No, my dream came true all of a sudden. Not to mention. Look, there is a beautiful pink diamond that looks very noble at first glance. Poppy. Tijapai's eyes were dumbfounded. Look, there's another young lady. Diancie, this name sounds so good. Yang Xiao's eyes were instantly attracted by the elves in front of him. Whether it is small diamonds or Diancie who looks like a diamond princess, it is another eye-opener for Yang Xiao. These are all brand new elves that have never appeared outside the elf world. Dion 11. Reggie Locke's eyes flashed quickly. Logically speaking, if the rock elf was on the mainland, I should have seen her in the past thousands of years. Right. After hearing what Regilok said, Darkrai and Cresselia in the shadow space immediately understood what it meant. This diamond mine has always been hidden at the bottom of the ocean in the elf world. This place is an area that the rock god pillar Regilok will never set foot on. Because of this, it was the first time for Regilok to see Diamond and Diancie. Manaphi, is the busyness you mentioned related to Diancie? Yang Yu never expected this in his heart. I thought that meeting Fiona and Manafi in the secret realm of Atlantis in the Sea Temple in the depths of the Pacific Ocean would be an unbelievable thing. However, deep in the Sea Temple, there is actually Fiona and Manafi. Angzi's or kingdom. Looking at it, the number of small diamonds is not small. This mineral kingdom should have existed for a long time. Sure enough, in the elf world, there are many unknown secrets. Easy. Dion 11 noticed the human trainer Yang Yu who was speaking. When she looked at Mana Fei nodded towards Dion 11, the two tentacles on her head seemed to be conveying some messages. For Diangzi, it was also the first time she met a human being in the elven world. Curiosity and vigilance coexisted in her heart. At the same time, as much curiosity as there was, she had to be vigilant. Poppy. At this time, Tijapai led the Frost Milk Fairy step by step to Diangzi. The Cream Fairy looked like she was holding up the hem of her cream skirt. The sweet smell of cream on her body easily aroused Diangzi's affection. Easy. The interaction between Frost Milk Fairy and Dion 11 quickly reminded Yang Xiao. Frost Milk Fairy, come out. Along the way, due to the high temperature and water and soil factors in North America, Frosty Milk Fairy was a little unwell. After a period of rest, the coldness in the deep sea was a very friendly environment for Frosty Milk Fairy. Babble. Diangzi was very surprised to see the two Frost Milk Fairies who were very similar but somewhat different. The aura of fairy attributes made Diangzi feel very friendly. Although it was the first time for Diangzi to see the Frost Milk Fairy, it did not hinder the feeling and communication between this fairy spirit. Easy. Gradually, Yang Yu was very surprised to find that Diangzi's vigilance towards him and Yang Xiao gradually began to dissipate. Although this speed is very slow, as time goes by, through the communication between these elves, at least Diangzi has a good basic impression of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Mifu. 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 Dion 11 looked at this newly emerged elf with some strangeness. Do you think this Harker dragon is a fairy elf? It's not. But what about the very weak fairy-type aura on it? But it exists clearly. Hakran looked at the newly appeared elf Diangzi, thinking that she was the same as the Frost Milk Fairy he met in the secret realm of the Sky City. Does such an elf have something particularly fragrant and delicious? East. Mif. Hakran is hungry. Dion 11 blinked slightly. Immediately, her right hand seemed to be flying in the air. At this moment, pink diamond stars seemed to light up on Diangzi's right hand. Compressed carbon elements were condensed from the air. In an instant, as the light gradually dissipated, a crystal clear pink diamond appeared in Diangzi's hand. Easy. Diangzi handed the pink diamond to Hakran. Mifu. 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 Although Hakran looks noble, there is still a little fool's heart hidden in his heart. With the tip of its tail swinging wildly, Hakran immediately opened his mouth. No. Reggie Rock suddenly shouted. The little dream demon saw the big pink diamond in Diangzi's hand. How much money was it worth? Actually, I'm going to be eaten by the Hakran. How can this be done? Unfortunately, Hakran roared like a hungry dragon and took the pink diamond, which was just the right size, into his mouth. Reggie Locke. Little dream demon. No. The corner of Yang Yu's mouth suddenly twitched. Hakran, can you chew that thing on the horse? Brother, Diangzi, did she make a big diamond at random? Yang Xiao still hasn't recovered yet. Diangzi's move directly suppressed Yang Xiao. What a powerful power control. This elf with rock and fairy attributes is very powerful, Cresselia said in a deep voice. Darkrai nodded slowly. At this moment, Hakran, who was so excited that he thought he had eaten something delicious, suddenly saw his two little eyes widening. Boom! Suddenly, a few tears burst out of the corners of Hakran's eyes. Mif. Hakron immediately spit the pink diamond back to the ground, and then rolled crazily on the ground like a loach. Toothache, toothache, miff. Even if it is a diamond, the pink princess diamond blessed by Diangzi's fairy power is much harder than the diamonds that Hakron has chewed before. The little dream demon who was so excited suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. It's okay if you haven't eaten it, it's okay if you haven't eaten it. This mouthful is a lot of small money. How long can I be a super member? However, the little dream demon's smile did not last long. He only saw the little Regirock made of rock blocks appearing next to Hakron. At the same time, at lightning speed, he spat out Hakron's food. Pink Princess Diamond picked up. Boom. There was another bang sound. It's just that what clicked before seemed to be the teeth of the Hackosaurus. Now it's this Pink Princess Diamond that pops. Regirock picked up the diamond and threw it into his mouth. At this moment, it seemed that he was not just eating butter popcorn like ordinary diamonds, but also added a butter popcorn. Plant strawberry flavor. Grumble. Chi. The hand exposed by Regirock instantly silenced the little diamonds in the mine. At the same time, those pairs of dull eyes gradually began to worship. Whether it is Little Diamond or Diangzi, they all feed on the minerals in the mine. Although they do not eat much, the more powerful Little Diamond can chew. The minerals are harder. The harder the mineral, the greater the help to the small diamond's own strength, but it can't chew it, so what can we do? In the entire mine, only Diangzi, the princess of the Ore Kingdom, can chew the pink diamonds she made herself. Even after all this time, there is still no small diamond that can be chewed to move the Pink Princess Diamond. Now, this elf made of rock that suddenly appeared, was able to bite into pieces the Pink Princess Diamond made by Princess Diangzi. How terrifying is this strength? Easy. Dion 11 also didn't expect that the rock elf that suddenly appeared in front of her could actually bite the diamond she made. Mana. Manaphi blinked and introduced from the side. This elf who chewed the Pink Princess Diamond is the patron saint of the land of the elf world, Regirock the rock god pillar. Obviously, Diangzi, who has been in the deep sea and has never been to the outside world of elves, is very unfamiliar with the name of the elf Regirock. However, to be able to have the title of Guardian of the Land, Rock God Pillar, it must be an amazing rock elf. At the same time, Guardian of the Land. Perhaps. Dion 11 had a thought. For some problems she encounters in the mine, she can ask it and these elves for help. Mana. Manaphi nodded quickly. If it weren't for the ability of Yang Yu, Yang Xiao, and the elves to help Diangzi, and at the same time, the rock god Regirock was following, at least the two human trainers had good intentions. Under these various factors, Manaphi would not choose to bring Yang Yu and Yang Xiao here. It smells so good. Regirock looked impressed. After eating so many diamonds, it is true that this pink diamond tastes different. It is not only delicious, but also more high-end. In the past, Regirock could only eat dirt, or exchange stones for beans by the river, but things are different now. This is the pink diamond made by Diangzi, the princess of the Ore Kingdom. Strawberry flavor, crunchy and crunchy. At this time, Diangzi's brows tightened slightly, and it was obvious that she was deep in thought. Being located in a mine on the bottom of the sea, Diangzi's Diamond Kingdom does not present any problems. This kind of life lasted for a long time. Although there was contact with the Temple of the Sea along the way, with the help of Manaphi, the deep sea water still would not flood the mine and would not harm the Ore Kingdom of Diangzi and Little Broken Diamond. Have an impact on survival. Just recently, Dion 11 clearly felt that in the deepest darkness of the mine, where she and Little Diamond had once blocked, something was beginning to cause trouble, as if appearing in a dimension and trying to open a passage. As early as the beginning, Diangzi and Little Broken Diamond could use the powerful rock power to block this possible dimensional passage, but as time goes by, This unknown passage is most likely to be opened by something from the other side of the world. Diangzi must find a new safe home for the people of the entire Or kingdom. But how to safely leave the deep sea and reach the surface? This is the problem Diangzi encountered. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 947. Diangzi, are you saying that there is a dimensional space wormhole deep in the mine? Yang Yu noticed a detail in the situation described by Diangzi that even made him feel very worried. At this time, Yang Yu's brows quickly tightened. Brother, what's wrong with this space wormhole? Yang Xiao asked cautiously from the side. Such a science fiction thing happened around him, maybe even very close at hand. Yang Xiao felt that his heart was beating wildly and he was extremely nervous. At this time, including Reggie Locke, Darkrai, and Cresselia, all focused on the conversation between Yang Yu and Dion 11. The power of space has always been an incredible power in the elf world. Only the elf's strength reaches the level of the King of Heaven or even surpasses the King of Heaven like Cresselia. Can it be possible to master the power of space? The storage space of super elves and ghost elves is a use of space, but this is only the most basic use. But even so, at the lowest threshold, elves need to reach at least the elite level. According to Diangzi's description of the space wormhole that appeared in Diangzi's mind, there seemed to be a mysterious force at the other end, constantly opening in the direction of the mine. If the other end of the mine is still the real world of elves, then this is most likely due to the normal movement of the Earth's crust. But if the other end of the wormhole is not from the real world of elves, things will become serious. Can you take us there to see it? It was not Yang Yu who said this, but Reggie Locke. Reggie Locke also felt that Yang Yu wanted to say the sentence, but it was more appropriate for him, Reggie Locke, to say the sentence. He is the rock god pillar Reggie Locke, the patron saint of the land of the elves. Even though this is the bottom of the sea, it is an area that Reggie Locke could not touch in the past, but now that Reggie Locke has appeared on this land, even if he is only in the mine, he still has the rock god pillar on his shoulders. Burden. Easy. Diangzi did not refuse Reggie Locke's request. When these little diamonds made way for Yang Yu and his party, the little dream monster and Mimikyu in the middle were also released. However, the little dream monster was still clinging to the previous little one. Diamond heirs. Little dream demon, we have to move on. The little dream demon reluctantly looked at the small diamond he was holding like an octopus. It would be great if he had a pokeball on him, so he could just take it off. However, it seems that even with the elf ball, Diamond can escape. The little dream demon is so annoying. Babble. The little diamond who finally got rid of the little dream demon confronted the little dream demon angrily with his eyes wide open. However, even if the two little elves were facing each other, there was no tense atmosphere. On the contrary, it was quite tense. Interesting. Just wait until I have 10 mana points. In Diangzi's Or Kingdom, although the colorful ores inlaid on the walls are very beautiful, to Hakran, these guys who can't eat and can't bite, naturally don't taste good at all. But following behind, Hakran could see his own image reflected in these diamonds. Especially when we get to a brighter place, it seems that the entire mine has its own image. Myth. The little dream demon who also discovered this secret immediately flew in front of these ores, just like the children in the supermarket who were playing with the magic mirror for the first time, walking back and forth in front of a crystal ore, approaching and far away. In some places, the appearance may look smaller, but in other places, the appearance of the little dream demon and Harkran will become larger. The elves have their own way of discovering the fun. The little dream demon did not forget to invite Tijipai, the frog, the frosted milk fairy and Jigglypuff to play the wonderful adventure in this mine. Always pay attention to the situation in the mine. This road gradually narrowed, and at the same time, it would be difficult to see the road ahead clearly without the flashing spell that was activated in a daze. Under the dull flashing technique, Diangzi's body exuded a pink crystal light. Although it was just the image of Diangzi at this time, Yang Yu could already imagine what appeared when Diangzi's whole body spread out diamond stars. Super Diangzi would look so gorgeous. From princess to queen. Very similar to Gardevoir. However, Yang Yu still thinks a little too much now. Megastones in the elf world are extremely rare. Even the common elves in the elf world may not be able to find elf megastones. For the new Diangzi, how to find Diangzi's megastone? Although the possibility is slim, it is still possible to imagine. Perhaps, we can use this advanced knowledge to conquer Diangzi while searching for the elf megastone. Yang Yu's heart couldn't help but surge. Whether it is the elf resources or Diangzi herself, they are all very attractive to Yang Yu. As Diangzi stopped walking ahead, Yang Yu also came back from his thoughts. Now is not the time to think about this. Maybe there is a more serious situation waiting for them. This breath. How could it be it? How could it be this breath? Under Diangzi's diamond seal, the aura within the seal did not reveal much. At first, Darkrai and Cresselia thought this was just their illusion. But as they walked deeper and deeper on this path, the hearts of Darkrai and Cresselia in the shadow space almost simultaneously became deeper and deeper. Darkrai, Cresselia, what's wrong? Yang Yu felt that his eyelids couldn't help but twitch. Even Darkrai didn't want to see a scene. Yang Yu could hardly imagine what kind of secrets were hidden behind the space wormhole here. Gengui, who was following Yang Xiao, trembled very secretly. Maybe Yang Xiao didn't notice the tremor this time, but Gardevoir, who was next to Gengui, couldn't help but feel a tight squeeze in his heart. Sana. Gardevoir, who also had the ability to telepathize, felt an ominous premonition for some unknown reason at this moment. Gengui shook his head. In this seal, even though the entrance of the wormhole was sealed by diamonds, the powerful ghost-type aura within it gave Gengui an extremely shocking shock. It's it? This is the secret passage to reverse the world. Regielocke closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and felt the breath of the rocks in the mine and the ghostly atmosphere sealed but still exuding, and his expression gradually became serious. The emergence of a secret passage in the reverse world. This means that the reverse world is most likely already prepared and will come to the real world of elves. Reverse the world, brother, what's going on? Yang Xiao couldn't help but cover his mouth and exclaimed. How much longer? Yang Yu felt as if his throat was blocked by a rock, and his voice was serious and hoarse. This should be just a sign of things to come. I don't know the specific time. Regielocke shook his head. How could the channel of the reverse world actively connect to the real world of elves at this time? Darkrai looked uncertain. Time seems to have advanced. Is there something wrong over there in the reverse world? Cresselia's tone was also somewhat erratic. Could it be related to Lord Nether Dragon King's 7th soul contract? Darkrai thought of something. It's possible, but we don't understand what Lord Nether Dragon King is thinking. In the more or less tense atmosphere, a sudden sound of joy appeared. Mifu! Mifu! Hakron seemed to be full of motivation for a moment, and immediately started running around the entire mine in front of the diamond seal. Circle, circle, circle again. Such a scene, whether it was for Yang Yu or Regielocke, including Darkrai and Cresselia, in an instant, the original tense atmosphere seemed to have completely dissipated. Yes. Why should we be so serious and nervous about the arrival of the reverse world? Perhaps, for Hakron. The sooner the reverse world comes, the better it is. Mif. Hakron finally has a big hope. The East China Sea waters of China. The sun is still shining here and the sea breeze is blowing. On the sea surface, You can see large and small fishing boats fishing here. Master, why don't you keep going forward? There seem to be fewer fishing boats in front of you, and it's easier to catch fish. On the fishing boat, there were also tourists who came to experience fishing activities in summer. They were all wearing sunglasses and sun hats, expressing their doubts about the anchoring of the boat. Ha ha ha, there is a cordon in front of you, the old master on the boat said with a smile. Warning line? Where is it? Why didn't we see it? Yeah. These tourists asked in surprise. I searched everywhere, but still couldn't find the cordon the old master mentioned. Warning line? Here. The old master pointed to his heart, grinned his dark face and said with white teeth, the secret realm of the East China Sea Dragon Palace is right in front of you. If you fish in that cordon, you will offend the Dragon God. Dragon God? You mean? Hua. Suddenly, there was a deafening sound in the East China Sea. An orange figure jumped out of the sea in an instant, soared into the air. Kuai Long. Pokemon's character master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 948. Has the king-level dragon from the East China Sea Dragon Palace appeared again this time? Yes, but this time it did not cause huge waves in the East China Sea. Witnesses on fishing boats in the East China Sea said that menace clouds appeared from the sky. I miss menace. Kuai Long is also an infatuated species. This time Kuai Long appears again in the secret realm of East China Sea Dragon Palace. Does it mean anything? What does it foreshadow? Are you talking about that place? It's not that early. It's only been less than 60 years since the last time it appeared. According to the laws of history, there should be at least 10 years left. In 10 years, our younger generation of trainers should be ready by that time. We old people have seen the ups and downs in the elf world, and we should trust them and trust them. Courage to face. In an office at the headquarters of the Yanjing Elf Alliance, the voice gradually became fainter, as if the words had not been finished yet, but then, 4 words were spoken sonorously. Turn the world around. The eastern part of the Pacific Ocean, the mysterious deep sea area. It's really the legendary elf, Fiona. Our guesses are correct. This secret realm is really the elf secret realm of Atlantis in North America. Although this place is in the Pacific Ocean and not the Atlantic Ocean, the appearance of this elf has verified the true name of the secret realm. The owner of the Sea Temple, the descendants of Mana Fei, the Prince of the Sea, these Fiona are all the children of Mana Fei. I finally understand why such a similar situation occurred when we were monitoring the peaks of the elves' life fluctuation characteristics. Perhaps what we monitored was the life fluctuation characteristics of Mana Fei and Fiona. The World Elf Alliance Secret Realm Investigation Team stationed above the sea level finally finalized the true identification of this secret realm. Through the latest news released by the World Elf Alliance, the entire elven world has once again fallen into a huge sensation. The Temple of the Sea, Atlantis. Dragon Messenger Xiaz Hepeng and Water Gym leader Fang Lian, who were always preparing for rescue operations in the deep sea, were also greatly shocked after receiving the news. The closer you get to the level of a king-level trainer, the more you will know about the world of elves compared to other trainers. Because of this, will the emergence of the secret realm of Atlantis in the Sea Temple have an impact on the elves? What impact does it have on the real world? Are these impacts good or bad? These are all things they need to think about. Just like the secret realm of the Sky City, the King of North America broke the rules of the World Elf Alliance and tried to capture the mythical beast Flame Bird in the Fushi Mountain area of Sakura Country. This time, although it was in the high seas of the Pacific Ocean, some people would rise up if they couldn't catch it. Thought. Whether the emergence of the secret realm will ultimately be a blessing or the beginning of disaster for the elf world is unknown. The scenes of these ruined underwater secret realms in front of us should be just a way to hide from others. The real secret realm is hidden in these ruins that are easily ignored by people. Xiaozhepeng had a guess in his mind. No wonder the World Elf Alliance has not had the opportunity to find this secret seabed until now. In the past, who would have noticed this normal scene of ruins on the seabed? Even if they did, they would have ignored its true inner content. Fang Lian, the master of the hall, was suddenly stunned. Whether you can truly enter the Temple of the Sea may only depend on the explorer's own creation, Xiaozhepeng sighed inwardly. This is also something that is completely not guaranteed. No one can guarantee that as long as you go to the bottom of the sea to explore, you will be able to find the elf resources you want, and you may come back empty-handed. I think Yang Yu is definitely fine. Don't all be attracted by his powerful elves? If you want to explore the secret realm, his national competition individual competition champion will be rewarded with an elf egg. It has super the lucky Tajipai, the more he is in such an unknown place, the more powerful this elf is, Fang Lian said with a smile. Luck is a mysterious thing, but for elves, some elves can work wonders in such situations. Xiaozhepeng felt much more relaxed after hearing what Fang Lian said. Fang Lian knew Yang Yu very well. As trainers from the same sect, and having battles with each other, he should be one of the few who understands Yang Yu's elf very well, both in terms of elf characteristics and elf moves. There is no way to worry now. We should continue to do safe logistics here, maintain normal order, and prevent some trainers with ulterior motives from trying to take action in the deep sea. Xiaozhepeng's voice gradually became serious. If you want to make a scheming move in the deep sea, you have to be a water or dragon king. However, with us here, those people can't even think about it. Among the elves with 18 types of attributes, those who are capable of fighting in the deep sea, except for the legendary elves, are the only ones with water and dragon attributes. Especially at the level of the King of Heaven, simply having an elf capable of fighting is not enough. Xiaozhepeng, the dragon envoy of Huaguo, and Fang Lian, the water-type king who is about to step down as the leader of the water-type gymnasium. The reason why Huaguo sent them out to sea on this trip is here. 2 people are enough. The Temple of the Sea, the underground or kingdom. Outside the space wormhole sealed by the diamond rock formation, Reggie Locke was sensing the current safety of the mine. It has to be said that the rock power that Diangzi possesses has unfathomable accomplishments in making tough diamonds. This is the magical power she is born with. She can compress the carbon element to the extreme in space and instantly form a strong diamond. At the same time, the seal made by the diamond rock layer can safely protect the mine at this time. If this passage is opened, and if the ghost elves from the reverse world enter the mine in large numbers, it may also have a huge impact on the Temple of the Sea, Reggie Locke said after thinking for a while. Mana Fei was not flustered by this. The reason why the Sea Temple has been hidden until now is that if it weren't for Mana Fei's need to personally search for the vitality and power in the deep sea, the Sea Temple would never have been discovered by the outside world. Although it is in the elven world, the Sea Temple is more like a small world. The reverse world is connected to the real world of elves. If it were not for the coincidence of discovering Diangzi and Little Diamond awakening deep under the sea, Mana Fei probably would not have chosen to let the Temple of the Sea stay here. If she had not encountered Mana Fei, Diangzi and her Ore Kingdom would probably have been submerged by the deep sea again. Although Diangzi can still use the power of rocks to block seawater erosion with Little Diamond, this situation will still occur as time goes by. The best solution is to leave from the bottom of the sea and go to the mainland of the elf world. To help Diangzi and Little Diamond leave the deep sea safely. Putting aside the matter of reversing the world, solving the current survival problem of Diangzi and Little Diamond may be an almost impossible task for others. There is no way for human submarines to launch go to the Temple of the Sea. But for Yang Yu, this isn't much of a difficulty at all. Brother, can't we rely on those carp kings who are particularly united? Even Yang Xiao already knows how to solve this problem. As for the method, do you still need to ask? At this time, Hakran was still enjoying himself in excitement. Even though little dream demon and Tajapai were comforting Hakran, Hakran was like a perpetual motion machine. The food he had eaten before, instantly glowing with endless motivation. Yang Yu could only shake his head, letting Hakran enjoy such crazy joy. Mana Fei, who learned the solution through telepathy, couldn't help but look weird. However, when she thought about the many spicy carp kings she had encountered in the sea temple, Mana Fei thought about it carefully and realized that this method is really feasible. So, Mana Fei immediately started communicating with Diangzi. Mana. Easy. With Reggie Locke here and Mana Fei's approval of the plan, Diangzi's mood quickly relaxed from being obsessed with the mind crisis. The relaxed smile on Diangzi's face infected some small diamonds around her. On the faces of these small diamonds, there was also a look of joy because of Princess Diangzi's smile. Smiles are easily contagious. Yeah. Dada also grinned, and gradually, including Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, everyone laughed in this relaxed atmosphere. Brother, Diangzi's smile is so beautiful, Yang Xiao was full of praise. Sinai, Gardewar agreed extremely. There is still a buffer time before the reverse world comes, and Yang Yu still has a long time to prepare. Now, first solve the things at hand, one by one, and don't get confused. Easy. Now that there is a solution, Diangzi has to start preparing some things in advance. First of all, the little diamonds in the Ore Kingdom must be informed of the news that they are planning to move. Secondly, Diangzi himself also needs to prepare to take away some things from the mine. The elves in the elf world are like this. When they encounter difficulties and someone helps them, they will take out some of the good things they have hidden and share them. Diangzi is no exception. When Diangzi brought something out of what looked like a collection room with two small diamonds, he was held up by two small diamonds. On a spread out rock, when things like shining ores appeared in front of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao, Yang Yu's face suddenly became a little erratic due to the huge joy. Is this true or false? Could it be that he saw it wrong? Here, how come there is Z pure crystal? Yang Yu exclaimed in surprise. Recommended book My Elf is Too Strong, a new book by the old PM author. The initial spirit is Vulpix. Introduction. Everything starts with a stone. 17-year-old Lu Qingshan was accidentally hit in the brain by a stone. Since then, many people's memories have appeared in his brain. When he learned that those people had the ability to fight against natural disaster-level elves such as Lugia, Ho-Oh, Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. Lu Qingshan is determined to become a trainer and devote himself to a life destined to become magnificent. Pokémon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Qiangxiao. Chapter 949. Z Pure Crystal. Yang Yu's extremely shocked voice echoed throughout the mine and could not stop for a long time. Yang Xiao, who was on the side, was even more shocked by Yang Yu. Brother, why are you shouting so loudly? However, what makes Yang Xiao even more curious is what is this that brother Yang Yu is talking about, Z Pure Crystal? What is this? Easy. Diangzi reached out and scratched the pendant of her princess crown, then looked at Yang Yu with doubts. On this diamond slate supported by two small diamonds, these Z pure crystals that simply do not seem to be much different from ordinary ores, their brilliance can easily be obscured by the light emitted by diamonds. If you look closely, these diamond-shaped crystals look a bit like amber. It was precisely because of this that Yang Yu saw the mysterious patterns contained in these rhombus-shaped crystals. These patterns were the fundamental reason why Yang Yu believed that these were the purest crystals. In one of the pure pink crystals, through this completely colorless and transparent diamond slate, you shine some light and focus your eyes on it, and you can even see a shadow similar to a butterfly. This is the pattern of Fairy Z Pure Crystal. In addition, on the left side of the Fairy Z Pure Crystal in the middle, there is another pure crystal with an internal pattern similar to a somersault cloud. From the overall view, it also looks like the eye of a dragon. There is no doubt that this is Yang Yu, the dragon type Z pure crystal that I have imagined and dreamed of before. The pattern on the third pure crystal is very obvious. It is really a beetle. It is an insect type Z pure crystal. If Yang Yu only sees this diamond-shaped crystal, it is very easy to mistake it for ordinary amber. Because in the world, it is so common to see bugs in amber. Looking at Yang Yu, who couldn't help himself without speaking for a long time, Reggie Locke's expression suddenly became serious. First of all, this Z pure crystal that Yang Yu mentioned, Reggie Locke had never heard of such a thing in the real world of elves, or anything with this name. Yang Yu actually recognized it at a glance and even called out its name. Could it be that Yang Yu had seen something like this before? If Yang Yu Xiao can be so excited, Reggie Locke must take a good look at it. However, Reggie Locke stepped forward and took a real look. Apart from some mysterious patterns in the crystal, there was nothing special about it. Growling, grrrrrrr. Dede also came forward and stood aside, tilting his head to look at the three crystal stones of different colors. Suddenly, one hand was wrapped around his chest, and the other hand was placed against his chin as if thinking. However, 6 question marks instantly appeared next to his dull head. One moment of amnesia raised 2 question marks. I haven't thought about it so carefully for a long time. As for the problems that troubled Dudui, as long as they had nothing to do with food, the Dudui moment came and I lost my memory 3 times in a row. I couldn't think of what it was, so I simply didn't think about it. This is the most natural state. There is no need to dwell on issues that you cannot figure out clearly. Poppy gently tugged on Yang Yu's trouser leg, asking for a hug, but he also wanted to look at it. The 2 places where little Diamond stood were on a flat rock. This height was still a bit high for Tijipai. Only when he reached the height of Yang Yu and Dede could he see more clearly. Bola. Yang Yu picked up Tijipai and Jigglypuff. Little Dreamer and Mimikyu could float. The 2 frost milk fairies were held by Gardevoir. All that was left was quack quack quack. The frog is now tall enough that he can see what is on the diamond slab just by standing on his tiptoes. Darkrai, have you heard of Z Pure Crystal? In the shadow space, Cresselia asked Darkrai with the same doubts. However, Darkrai spread his hands and his sky blue eyes were completely blank. Confused. Z Pure Crystal, what is this? Could it be that this human trainer made it up? Easy. Dion 11 recorded the name Z Pure Crystal in her mind. These diamond-shaped pure crystals are some of the more peculiar crystals that Diangzi collected in the mine. The little diamonds sometimes find such crystals when digging the mine. If it is an ordinary diamond, Diangzi can use his own power to disintegrate it, or the small diamonds can chew it by themselves. However, these strange pure crystals are neither the colorful gemstones that can be eaten, nor can they be decomposed like diamonds. Diangzi didn't know what they were, but seeing that they were quite unique and beautiful, he finally kept them. With years of accumulation, Diangzi discovered that the yield rate of these strange crystals was very low, and sometimes one might not be seen for several years. In comparison, it seemed that diamonds were not as precious as these crystals. Things are rare and valuable, and because of this, these crystals have gradually become treasures in Diangzi's collection. Brother, what are these crystals used for? They look strange. The rhombus-shaped crystals are pretty, but they are pretty. Yang Xiao couldn't think of anything called Z pure crystal among the knowledge he studied in high school. Of stuff. Oh. The little dream monster blinked her bright eyes and raised her hand. These crystals. Of course, you can use it to exchange for deduction coins. Exchange deducted coins to open a super membership, or even a more advanced super membership. The corners of Yang Yu's mouth couldn't help but twitch. If this was in an animation, especially if an elf exchanged the Z pure crystal, a special prop that allows the elf to awaken and master Z moves, in exchange for game currency. Prodigal. What a waste. Q. Mimikyu was also cheering for the little dream monster. Yang Yu put his hand on the little dream demon's hair, gently turned it in a circle, and turned the little dream demon around. Go, go, don't make trouble, don't make trouble. These crystals have unexpected and powerful effects. Yang Yu took a deep breath, and even though he tried hard to suppress the excitement in his voice, he was still trembling. Unexpectedly huge effect. Yang Xiao, Reggie Locke, including Darkrai and Cresselia, almost simultaneously repeated what Yang Yu said. What does it do? Human beings are so mysterious. Come on, tell me. What's the use? Tell me Darkrai doesn't like this kind of pretense the most. This kind of pedant should be locked up in a small dark room with a dark hole and not let go unless he speaks out. Darkrai has been sleeping in his own crescent island for 5,000 years. There are few, if any, things that can interest Darkrai in the real world of elves. However, what the human trainer Yang Yu said about Z Pure Crystal and unexpected and huge effect was like a meow tickling Darkrai's heart. Just want to know. Brother, what's the use? Yang Xiao felt itchy in his heart. When I came out this time, I found that my horizons were really narrow. I had never seen many things, and I didn't seem to know anything. It feels like the knowledge I learned in the past few years in Elf Elementary School, Junior High School, and High School was all in vain and was all returned to the teacher. This effect cannot take effect now. Let's wait until it can take effect. In this way, it may be more convincing. Yang Yu quickly calmed down his excited heart. That's right. The emergence of Z Pure Crystal has given Yang Yu hope to let the elves use Z moves. The Z move requires not only the Z Pure Crystal, but also the Z bracelet made of radiant stone. At the same time, the trainer also needs to use the full force posture. Similar to the Mega Evolution of elves, it is not enough to have the elf Mega Stone, but also needs the Keystone. The trainer uses the Mega Bracelet to activate the Keystone, which resonates strongly with the elf Mega Stone carried by the elf, and finally the elf evolves into a Super Elf. Looking at the Z moves again, the Mega Bracelet has been replaced by the Z Bracelet, and the material requirements for the Z Bracelet require the use of Radiance Stone. Now, there are only Z Pure Crystals, and there seems to be no shadow of the Radiance Stone. If we want to talk about Z moves, it is still impossible for the elf to perform them. Since it is now impossible for the elf to successfully perform the Z move, Yang Yu will not tell the situation about the Z move in front of Regielocke, Darkrai, and Cresselia. Because in the current elven reality world, there has never been any record of Z moves. Regielocke's core of wisdom is very familiar with the information in the real world of elves, even things it has never heard of. Yang Yu must use real things to convince Regielocke of the existence of the Z move. Because of this, Yang Yu had to find the whereabouts of the Radiant Stone, the material for making the Z bracelet, and successfully allowed the elf to perform incredible Z moves, making the impossible existence a real fact. Regielocke's eyes flickered slightly, and he captured several key words from Yang Yu's words. Temporarily unable to take effect. What is this temporary reason for? What conditions must be met before this Z Pure Crystal can truly take effect? This Z Pure Crystal. Regielocke suddenly thought of something. Just when Regielocke was about to speak, it discovered that Yang Yu was nodding slightly in his direction at this moment. Suddenly, what Regielocke wanted to say was swallowed back. How is this possible? Because what Regielocke thought of was some information about the super evolution of elves. What it wants to ask is this Z Pure Crystal like the elf super evolution? In addition to the Z Pure Crystal, does it also need something else, such as a prop like a keystone, or something like a mega bracelet? Regielocke felt that his idea was quite crazy. How is this possible? In the real world of elves, the super evolution of elves, the elves' megastones, and the mega bracelets and keystones are already the most mysterious and incredible power. Super evolution allows elves to gain more powerful power, and at the same time, it can also show more incredible forms and attributes. The most important thing is that in super evolution, it can increase the level of life immeasurably. If it's really like super evolution, what kind of changes in some elves are caused by using the Z pure crystal? How incredible would that be? How can this be? How is it possible that besides super evolution, there are other ways to greatly improve the abilities of elves? Reggie Locke felt that his brain, the core of wisdom, was about to shut down. If that's the case, even the patron saint of the elf world would feel a sense of fear. But the appearance of Z pure crystals in nature means that this is in line with the natural laws of the elven world. Because at the beginning, the super evolution of elves was also questioned by human trainers, including the patron saint of the elven world. This is incredible. Regirock doesn't know why. Even though there is no specific use of the Z pure crystal now, it has basically believed in its heart that the human trainer in front of it, the current owner of Regirock's wisdom core, can completely dig out the Z pure crystal. Usage. Is he really still a human trainer? For a moment, Reggie Locke thought of that person in the elf world. Is he really a god? Reggie Locke, why do you look at me like that? I'm just a human being. I just know a little more. Yang Yu was speechless. It's all good. Why is Reggie Locke so crazy again? Isn't it good to think about other things, but I just want to think in the direction of alpaca. Brother, you must tell me when the time comes. Yang Xiao felt that if she continued to ask, Brother Yang Yu would definitely tell her, but such news would definitely be completely indigestible for her. It's better to be half-informed and confused than to be like Dede, who loses his memory in an instant and doesn't think about anything. When Brother Yang Yu shows it, Brother Yang Yu will definitely tell her. Of course, Yang Yu smiled, you are my sister. Of course I will tell you first when the time comes. Feeling that these crystals could not be exchanged for cute little coins, the little dream demon sighed, but her little eyes were fixed on the little diamond. Don't cry, little dream monster, stand up and masturbate. There are so many little diamonds, but are you afraid of not having cute little coins? This mine, the little dream demon announced, will be reduced to 0. In that case, I will accept it, thank you Diangzi. Yang Yu did not refuse Diangzi's kindness. Judging from Diangzi's expression, Yang Yu would even be unhappy if he did not accept it. This is also normal. Be friendly to the elves in the elf world, and the elves will be friendly to you. Help the elves, and sometimes the elves will help you in turn. However, since he obtained the fairy Z pure crystal, the dragon Z pure crystal and the insect Z pure crystal in a very unexpected and surprising way, Yang Yu couldn't help but start to think about it. Yang Yu didn't think much about the insect type Z pure crystal. After all, I don't have an insect elf. By the way, does senior brother Jian have an insect type elf giant pincer mantis there? It seems that it can still super evolve. If you have the chance, you can give the insect type Z pure crystal to brother Jian, but now is definitely not the time. Yang Yu didn't know what the full force posture was, and there were all kinds of extremely shameful ways and slogans to use the Z bracelet in this animation. This thought gave me goosebumps. If anyone laughs when Yang Yu shouts the Z move slogan, Yang Yu will sing to that person alone. Thinking in a better direction. Dragon type Z move. Yang Yu's eyes gradually brightened. The ultimate dragon shakes the world. The name of this Z move alone is enough to intimidate any opponent. Maybe the move hadn't been released yet, but I was stunned by the name of the move. Yang Yu immediately remembered how he and Lao Wen yelled out moves on the elf battlefield at the freshman competition when they just entered the university, almost scaring the audience half to death. All the destructive death rays and the like are coming. But the ultimate giant dragon shakes the world, it truly exists. As for Goblin Z, what is Fairy Z? A huge pink figure suddenly appeared in Yang Yu's mind. In an instant, the smile on his face froze. Ken. Cute stars flying into the sky. Cute. What a cute mud horse. Yang Yu. Recommended book. If you are interested, you can read the pet article My Pet Beast is Super Fierce by Book Friends. The introduction is as follows. You said you. When I was a child, I was only a little bit small. Xiao Zifeng raised his head and looked at the giant creature in front of him, gesturing with his hands in front of his chest. Why do you look so fierce now? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 950. We have finally arrived at the real secret realm of Atlantis. Fina Fina. At this moment, Russell felt that he was the truly chosen one. He followed Fiona's leadership from the deep sea of the Pacific Ocean and entered the mysterious interior of the seabed. He just wanted to ask, who else? Russell, why does this place feel a little strange? Super-type gym leader Eisen looked around at the surrounding environment. It stands to reason that when they come out of the mysterious passage, they should be able to see some appearances in the secret realm, but why does it feel like there's not even a hair on anyone except Fiona? Perhaps, we are now in a more secret area in Atlantis. The sense of shuttle in the scene just after entering the passage. Eisen, don't tell me you didn't feel it. Russell frowned slightly. But, how can we see Mana Fei in this place? It is the most important thing in the secret realm of Atlantis, Eisen said solemnly. Russell nodded. Eisen was right about this, but if they wanted to find Mana Fei, they still needed the help of Fiona in front of them. Fina, Fina Fina. Fiona motioned for the two of them to continue following. Is this going to take us to see Mana Fei? Eisen's face froze, and then he immediately fell into ecstasy. Even though Russell is the leader of a North American evil-type gym, he has seen many things in the elf world, and his vision is not comparable to that of ordinary gym-level trainers. At this moment, he had the same cheerful smile on his face as Eisen. Meaning. Only. As they continued walking, the scene before them was completely different from the lofty scene they had imagined. Here, it's like a vegetable patch. That's right. On this piece of land, there are endless seaweeds planted. Although some seaweeds have different shapes, these green or dark green plants in the deep sea can all be called seaweeds. Where is this? Russell was dumbfounded. You're not asking us to pull out seaweed. Eisen couldn't help but take a deep breath. Fina Fina. Fiona smiled and stretched out her soft hand in the direction of the sea grassland and patted it. Work, work. Russell and Eisen were told this fact through telepathy. For a moment, these two gym leaders with rich knowledge fell into a state of confusion. Are you really here to pull out seaweed? Russell? Eisen? When we put a question mark, it's not that we have a problem, it's that you have a problem. Are we here to pull out seaweed? Get rid of your father. Fina, Fina. Fiona's expressions immediately became serious. Facing two humans with such unruly thoughts and attitudes, they continued to point at this piece of seagrass meadow. To pull out, or not to pull out? I want to see their father, Mana Fei, but I can't do it just because I want to. Their father is probably busy giving birth to elf eggs or raising elf eggs, so why bother at this time? They don't want to be beaten up by their dad yet. You. Russell. Russell was about to question loudly, but was immediately stopped by Eisen. Russell, this is not our North America. The master of the secret realm of Atlantis deserves our respect. If Mana Fei angers the entire North America because of us, even the King of Heaven will not be able to protect us, Eisen said extremely calmly. Russell suddenly woke up. I'm used to being domineering in North America, and I feel like I'm home everywhere. As long as I don't offend some big shots, I can go anywhere. But, here now. Not North America. It's the secret realm of Atlantis. The master here is not a human, but an elf. Russell, it's best not to think about those messy things. Fiona can know what we are thinking through telepathy, and Mona Fey also knows it. Russell, here, we still listen. These Fionas, first pull out the seaweed. Eisen had already taken action immediately. These Fionas provide them with enough oxygen help, and moving in this secret realm is much more convenient than in the deep sea outside. Isn't it just pulling out seaweed? Eisen directly asked the super elves to come out and pull it out together. Maybe, the more you pull out, the sooner you can see Mona Fey. Hey Eisen. At this moment, seeing Eisen move so quickly, Russell didn't expect it at all. Coupled with the super elves appearing next to Eisen, Russell was even dumbfounded. What about him? What should he do? Eisen's super elves are invincible when operating in the deep sea. Even when it comes to harvesting seaweed, the Metagross looks like a harvester. It can harvest countless seaweeds by flying back and forth. But what about Russell? The only elf Russell can use in the deep sea is basically a megalodon. Other evil elves? Hyluga, summoning Hyluga in a venue with such a strong water element, I am afraid only a fool would do this. By the way, there are cunning Tengu and Mahula. Use the flying blade to harvest seaweed, and the sharp claws of Mahula. Harvesting seaweed is also extremely simple. Fina. Fiona's mood became even better when they saw these humans and human elves harvesting seaweed quickly on the seagrass meadow. With such efficiency, do Fionas still need to work hard to harvest seaweed? No need at all. In this way, they can be lazy. Omega_U003C. Fiona is really clever. However, who told them to be none in the judgment of Fiona's first impression? If it's Europe, it's a different situation. Oh my god, is this the real, secret realm? Wan Kaizu swallowed his saliva, and his eyes suddenly opened up. From the ruins outside to the scene of the Holy Land in front of him, this huge difference, he even thought that he had ascended to heaven. Isn't it? Coming from the gloomy underwater world to this prosperous temple scene, what is it but ascending to heaven? This is simply a paradise for ocean elves. I remember that in the legendary secret realm of the ocean, the secret realm of Atlantis, it should be here. Look at the place in the center of the temple. The halo of light above it should be the energy core here. Wu Yuqian was secretly shocked. Here, it is not just a secret realm, but a civilization was born, a real civilization in the elven world. Although there is no obvious city-state, in this temple, there are structures of various houses made of rocks and undersea plants, large and small. Even in the central tower area, these mysterious undersea buildings are even more magnificent. There are mines. Why do I seem to see a large group of carp kings? There, you said this place, Yang Yu won't let his army of carp kings sneak in, right? Wan Kaizu rubbed it with my own eyes. I was afraid that I might have seen something wrong. But even if there are large water elves like the Roaring Whale King, they can't cover up those bright reds. If you don't tell me, it's probably not true. But if you say that, Lao Wan, I feel like I might have actually sneaked in. Wu Yuqian took a deep breath. Wan Kaizu. Ona. These Fiona waved in the direction of Wan Kaizu and Wu Yuqian. There is a mine. They said they would invite us to take a walk here. Let's go. I want to open my eyes and see the secret civilization here, Wan Kaizu said with a smile. This must be seen. The elven world is so colorful. If we are lucky enough to see it with our own eyes, it will be a worthwhile trip, Wu Yuqian happily accepted. Ilian, look, the people down there working hard are Eisen and Russell. Hey, Kane, it's really the two of them. These two idiots won't do anything to offend Fiona here, right? Elian, the leader of the North American grass gym, said in surprise. This Metagross has turned into a lawnmower, as well as Namawula and Cunning Tengu. Russell's two elves, why can't they mow the grass at all? They seem to be lazy, Kane laughed. Said cheerfully. Ona Ona. Kane, Fiona said, they are so unlucky. They were chosen by those Fionas to do hard labor. It's not like they offended them in any way. What else can be said about this? Ha ha ha, two more unlucky guys are here. Which country are they from? They seem to be gym-level trainers from Western Europe, right? Ha 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 ha. It seems that we both have pretty good luck. In the Temple of the Sea, if Fiona greets human trainers by saying Fiona, then this is a trainer who has bad luck. If the voice said by Fiona is Una, then the luck of these human trainers just good. Luck is a very mysterious thing in the elf world, but for Fiona, a citizen of the Temple of the Sea, they also have the ability to distinguish good luck from bad luck due to their telepathy. Mana, mana mana. In the deep sea mine, what Manaphi said at this time attracted the attention of Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Xiao Yu, it seems that we are not the only ones who are so lucky. Other trainers have also found traces of Fiona, and they have also entered the Sea Temple, Yang Yu said with a smile. What about Brother Wan and Brother Wu? Have they come in? Yang Xiao asked. We'll find out when we go up with Manaphi and take a look. Yang Yu looked around at the mines here. There are still some small flukes in my heart. Now that Z pure crystal appears here, is it possible? Is it possible that the radiant stone is also contained in this mine? It's just that it hasn't been discovered by Little Diamond and Diangzi yet. When leaving the depths of the mine and preparing to return to the Temple of the Sea. Poppy. Suddenly, Tijapai's feet seemed to be tripped by something. When he turned over, Eggshell directly came into close contact with the ground. Boom. Boom. Tijapai wiped his eggshell and kicked angrily at the small silver-raised rock that tripped him. The little dream demon also helped Tijapai and hit the hateful rock twice with the magic stick. I told you to bully Tijapai. I told you to bully Tijapai. You should be beaten. Yang Yu was about to open his mouth to comfort him, but out of the corner of his eye, he suddenly stared at the rock at Tijapai's feet with a sharp corner. No way. No way. No way. Diangzi, can we dig out this piece of ore? Yang Yu's voice once again began to tremble uncontrollably. The corner of the rock that tripped Tijapai. How does it feel? So like the tip of an iceberg of radiant stone. Easy. Diangzi nodded. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 951. Look again, look again, look again, and I will dig you out. Yang Yu's suggestion did not make Little Dream Demon and Porkpie happy. Dig. Dig hard. Who made it trip up Tijapai? Easy. After receiving Diangzi's instructions, the other three small diamonds immediately appeared in the mine. Every little diamond has a very good talent for mining. It has the properties of rock itself. At the same time, it has lived in the mine for many years and has an innate sense of the ore crystals hidden underground. During the excavation process, it will not cause any damage to the mine. You can even reuse your magical ability to fill a small piece in the mine after the ore is excavated. For the mineral kingdom with Diangzi and small diamonds, they can plant a small diamond and grow a big diamond in decades or hundreds of years. Only they have such talent. Unique. EAA. EAA. The three little diamonds are obviously a small mining team. They are currently conducting on-site surveys in front of this raised crystal stone, and they are still calculating something at the same time. After a while, the diamond miner Little Diamond began to fully mine the crystal that tripped Tijapai. Reggie Locke scratched the back of his head with his big fist in confusion. Why did Yang Yu want to dig up this crystal? Was it because of this crystal that he tripped Tijipai? What Yang Yu is thinking about now is completely luck. Tijipai had walked so much before that he rarely tripped, and he never tripped when he came to this mine. Although there are many branch roads in the mine, and they are not the original on the way back, why did I stumble this time? In the dark, there is God's will. The little diamonds are indeed the professional gold miners who mine diamonds. Soon, around this piece of ore where only the sharp corners are exposed, many pieces of broken rock and soil have been dug up. Basically, this piece of ore has been exposed. Most of the appearance of a stone. At this time, Yang Yu did not dare to relax at all, and even barely blinked his eyes. He kept staring at the ore that was about to be unearthed and tripped Tijipai. Duday and Reggie Locke, who clearly felt Yang Yu's nervous and uneasy mood at this time, also focused their attention on the center position surrounded by 3 small diamonds. In the end. What is it? Human, is there anything wrong with this stone? Darkrai didn't like such twists and turns, but what could he do? He didn't even know this thing, so he could only wait for Yang Yu to explain it to him. Speaking of which, this human trainer is really evil. Wait a little longer, wait a little longer. The appearance of the circle around the radiant stone does not look much different from that of silver ore, but the most important thing is the condition of the center. This is like a rough jade stone. It may look unremarkable on the outside, just like an ordinary stone, but in the center of the rough stone, no one knows whether there will be glass or some kind of imperial green. Yang Yu feels extremely anxious in his heart now. He only needs to dig a little more, just a little more, as long as that mysterious Z-shaped crystal symbol appears in this unpretentious silver appearance. Babble. 3 small drills quickly made the final excavation work. The excavation at the beginning is the easiest and the fastest, but as the excavation progresses, it will be more difficult to excavate a perfectly shaped crystal without any damage. However, for experienced miners, this level of difficulty is just average. Yeah. After one of the small diamonds reported to Dion 11 that the excavation was completed, the remaining 2 small diamonds lifted out the ore, which was slightly larger than the other crystals. Easy. Diangzi's eyes noticed a fault gap on the surface of the ore. After Diangzi used his own rock power to wipe away the ore residue at the fault gap, this piece of ore finally revealed something magical. It seems that the surface looks a bit like a 7-shaped horizontal fold. Yang Yu shook his hand twice, and his arms began to tremble. The appearance is similar to half an hourglass, and the 7-shaped horizontal fold is similar to half a Z shape. What's this? What else could this be? This is Radiance Stone. Easy. Dion 11 handed the newly unearthed ore in front of Yang Yu after wiping it clean. At this time, Little Dream Demon and Tijipai immediately gathered around. This abominable piece of ore, do you know what will happen to it? Even the roots were dug up for you. However, Little Dream Demon and Tijipai felt Yang Yu's current expression at the same time. Trance and true ecstasy. It's it, it's really it? I didn't expect it, I really didn't expect it, that it would really be possible for it to appear in the same mine as the Z pure crystal. Yang Yu's voice spoke again in the mine. Echo. What is this? Reggie Locke couldn't help but ask. Uncover the brilliance of the elves' ultimate ability, the ore that contains mysterious power. I call it, Radiance Stone. Yang Yu reached out and caressed the surface of the ore with irregular edges. The cold touch stimulated Yang Yu's nerves at this time. This means that Yang Yu got it right? Brilliant stone? Brother, what is the brilliant stone? Yang Xiao stuck out his tongue. She doesn't understand again. Oops, it's so annoying, I don't understand anything. Yang Xiao gently tapped his head with 2 small fists, and asked while holding his breath. He was bulging with anger, as if he was angry with himself. Diangzi, can you help clean up the broken rock residue protruding from this half? This is simple, I can do it. Reggie Locke reached out and touched the rock. The ore and rock fragments that obscured the mystery inside were quickly cleaned up, revealing the true appearance of the Radiance Stone. The Radiance Stone with the Z logo also had a diamond-shaped frame mark. When they saw the diamond-shaped frame mark, Reggie Locke and Yang Xiao spoke almost at the same time. Brother Yang Yu, is this the place where the Z pure crystal is embedded? That's right. At this time, Yang Yu was holding this extremely precious piece of radiant stone with both hands, looking extremely excited. As long as this piece of brilliant stone is polished exquisitely, it becomes a Z bracelet. After it is inlaid with Z pure crystal, it is given to the trainer to wear. This is one of the important conditions for using Z moves. Babble. At this time, there were 3 little diamonds standing next to you. You looked at me and I looked at you. They looked at Yang Yu touching such a stone as if he were touching a huge treasure. His expression was still uncontrollable. For a moment, the expressions of the 3 little diamonds are a bit wrong. Easy. Diangzi was a little confused and asked the 3 little diamonds. Ee. 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 Little broken diamond gestured towards a certain direction in the mine. Of course, Diangzi knew where that direction was. Isn't it just a place to throw away mineral waste? The little diamonds nodded very seriously. There, in that place where mineral waste is concentrated, there is such and such ore. When mining in mines, some ores with extremely low ore content are excavated. For small diamonds, not only are they inedible, but they will also have an impact on the living environment. Therefore, such ores are collected and thrown into mineral dumps. Such crystals have been in the deep-sea mineral kingdom for so many years. Although the quantity is much smaller than other mineral waste, it is still possible to excavate it. This kind of appearance looks like something from an ordinary silver mine. Without diamonds, it is basically something thrown into the garbage dump. If Diamond Princess Diangzi hadn't asked them to dig this piece of ore, they wouldn't have wasted time on such ore. Yang Yu, the little diamonds said that there seemed to be some such radiant stones lost in their garbage dump. Reggie Locke almost couldn't hold back his laughter. This was originally a serious environment. After all, what Yang Yu said about revealing the ultimate ability of the elves was not serious. Even Mana Fei and Diangzi were curious about what the elf's ultimate ability was. Not to mention Darkrai and Cresselia, they have been listening to Yang Yu, just waiting for a result. But what? Why are these 3 little diamonds so inexplicably happy? Yang Yu. This little diamond is here to cause trouble, right? However, Yang Yu's heart suddenly became more excited. Where have these brilliant stones that the little diamonds have dug out over the years gone? Landfill? No problem. In the history of the elf world, before the secret of elf super evolution was revealed, elf megastones and elf keystones were both ignored props. However, once the secrets and connections between such elf props were revealed, the props that were once regarded as rubbish instantly emitted the brightest and longest lasting radiant light. Now, in the elven world, perhaps only Yang Yu knows the secret, the incredible connection between the mysterious radiance stone and the mysterious Z pure crystal. Of course, it is also possible that in decades or hundreds of years, other trainers will accidentally discover the secret between Z pure crystal and radiant stone. For Yang Yu now, it is just a matter of keeping the secret in the elf world. Just dig it out in advance. Yang Yu was extremely confident that this would be a major discovery that would change the current elf world. Such crystals have a great neglected role. Diangzi, can we pick them out from the garbage dump? I think they should not be buried in the mineral garbage dump. These crystals have special functions that belong to the light they emit themselves. Yang Yu clenched the piece of radiant stone in his hand and said solemnly to Diangzi. Diangzi's eyes lit up. She liked this sentence. Easy. Diangzi, I happily agree. Mana Fei's tentacles crossed and scratched her head. This human being feels like he is becoming more and more invisible. The ultimate power of elves? Could it be that I could have more elf eggs with my ever-changing concubine at one time? If only there was such power. Give me one too. For things like Z pure crystals, Manaphy remembered that Diangzi had given it some before. Manaphy had forgotten the specific colors, but this time the three kinds given to this human being should be at home. All. Mineral garbage dumps in the mineral kingdom, also need to sort garbage. After any mineral waste is sorted and accumulated, perhaps decades or hundreds of years after being buried, these mineral waste can evolve and purify in the ore kingdom, so that it can become useful mineral crystals. But if you bury it randomly after mixing, there is no possibility of purifying and increasing the ore content. Here, garbage classification is very important. Small diamonds quickly jumped out of the garbage dump. Under their joint transportation, a total of 5 pieces of brilliant stone with obvious Z-shaped and rhombus shapes appeared. For a moment, Yang Yu was stunned as he looked at it. This amount is too exaggerated. Each piece of radiance stone can be made into a Z bracelet. These 5 pieces of radiance stone, plus the one in Yang Yu's hand, make a total of 6 pieces. What the hell if you carry 3 in your left hand and 3 in your right hand? This is no longer the Lord of the Rings, it is clearly the King of the Rings. But, thinking of the full force posture that may be required to use Z moves, it is estimated that one Z move can be used at a time to hollow out oneself. If this is used one after another, isn't it possible that everyone will become a Lord of the Void? Etc. Yang Yu suddenly thought that he seemed to have acquired a lot of properties that could improve the body's flexibility, resistance to beatings, etc. Could it be that this was considered good from the beginning? But that's all for the future. The most important thing now is to successfully activate the first Z move before talking about anything else. The first step is often the hardest. Mana Mana. Manaphy followed these two humans, feeling so happy that she forgot that there was something going on in the Temple of the Sea. More and more human trainers are entering the Sea Temple through Fiona. They all want to find themselves in the Sea Temple or want to obtain elven resources. Those who are unlucky can continue to do hard work, but those who are more lucky can meet. Manaphy doesn't want to be tainted with the atmosphere of some Fey chiefs. Since Fiona was judged to be the unlucky chief Fey, let alone Mana Fey. However, when it comes to luck, who can compare to the human trainer in front of me? For Manaphy, who has been surviving on the seabed from the history of the elven world to this day, some things are really not as important as misty luck. Look, as soon as this human trainer came to the Temple of the Sea, he had such a harmonious friendship with Mana Fey. Isn't it luck? There is also meeting Diangzi in the mine, and obtaining a series of elf resources. This is Ou Huang. Poppy. Recommendation: The Breeding House of Elves is free for a limited time. Interested book friends can check it out. Introduction: The Breeding House system is awakening. Task list opens. Conquer the first elf and successfully register as a trainer, receive a reward of 1000 experience points. Take the initial elves to taste delicious food, get a mysterious elf egg as a reward. Participate in the 3-party competition, get rewards. The level of the breeding house is improved to LV2, and the reward Wind Fairy's Garden will be obtained. Secret skill list opens. The list of elf eggs is opened. The mysterious law of attraction opens.